might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah. Today is Monday, February 26th, 2024. We are rolling through the year, our last Monday of February. We are having an amazing time, aren't we? All right. So this is our 25th episode of the morning show for this year. How about that? We are making it through. We are staying consistent, as we always like to do. So let's give it up for that, for all the amazing, amazing hard work that we are putting in every single day. All right. So let's go ahead and do it like that. And if you're tuned in and this is your first time here, give me a second to say welcome. And I really appreciate you for being here. If you do not know who I am your host of the show and of the channel, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are, as always, engineered to win. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into our news portion of the show, and then we're going to get to work, continuing to write our Flutter test, our widget test, showing you what I found out from our last time that we were together. So you know how we do it here. So quick announcement, we have our candid conversation coming out at noon about what is our what's your purpose, right? And how I help you figure that out if you are unsure, as well as we're going to be going live tomorrow night for our Q&A session. We had a couple of lives yesterday working through Terraform. I'm excited to announce that we had deleted our manually created Elastic Beanstalk environment to use primarily our Terraform environment. And then we're working on setting up online like a cloud-based MongoDB through MongoDB Atlas. So all the good stuff that we're doing. So definitely check those out if you're interested. And so let's go ahead and get into the show. If you haven't done so already, do me a favor, go ahead and like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And you can hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. All right, so let's put our timer up for our news portion. And we are going to jump right into it. All right, timer's up. And let's do it. All right, so first news of the day. And I hope, because when I was checking the numbers for the week weren't in yet, but we'll check as we get towards the end of the news and we'll see what happens. All right. So, I'm going to start the 5 minutes over again just because I was babbling. All right. So the first article, AI may reject job applications. All right. So it's no secret that companies use artificial intelligence to review job applications, but there has been a push for more transparency, writes the Wall Street Journal. Under a new law in New York City, New York City again, the first of its kind in the US, more job seekers can request AI not to be used in the application process, though lawyers warn this doesn't guarantee humans will do the work instead. Not to fret, there is an upside. AI can point applicants initially rejected to other openings within the company. Experts advise job seekers use a coach or a service to optimize their resumes for AI. All right, so I mean, that's fine. But I'll tell you this, right? This is what's going to happen. I guarantee this is going to happen, right? If you mark, do not use AI for my job application, it's just not going to get looked at all. So a human won't look at it, and AI won't look at it. It's just going to go to the pile of, you know what. All right. So the New York rule also requires businesses that use AI for hiring and promotion decisions to inspect the tool for potential race and gender bias. Yep, of course. All right. 2/3 of the U.S. adults said they would not submit an application to a company that used AI as part of the hiring process per a 2023 Pew survey. And that is probably why most of you guys are still complaining on this platform right here, LinkedIn, saying, I just want a chance, right? I would submit my resume if I need a job. I would submit my resume to whoever can better help me with that, right? But that is neither here nor there, right? So it's your choice to make whether you want AI to help review, because you can also use AI to help enhance your resume as well, which I have done in the Patreon. So it is what it is, right? It still takes some human work and human ingenuity, but if you can get something, an assistant, because think about it like this. You can go and pay $350 for someone to write your resume, or you can do the work yourself and use the tools of AI who do a pretty damn good job as well, right? So anyways, let's move on to the next, right? So next story, fewer remote jobs are lucrative. So the higher the pay, the less likely it is these days that the job will be remote. Such listings for positions paying at least $200,000 have dropped precipitously. Oh, I got that one right off the bat. Since late 2022 to 1 in 10 roles from 3 in 10, according to one career site for professionals in North America. Lucrative hybrid roles have also declined from 3% to 16% early last year. The trend extends across technology and non-technology sectors. Other sites have shown a drop in postings for remote eligible roles overall, while those for in-person work are higher than before COVID, right? And that's one of the things. And based on your location, like I always tell people, you can still apply for remote, but so many people want remote when many companies are wanting to go back to the office. So that is a balance. If the company really, really needs somebody, then they might say, okay, fine, we'll hire remote, although they might not want to. But if it is like one of those lower level roles, they're going to find somebody locally for the most part. All right. So next up, big tech speech case hits the Supreme Court of the United States. All right. So the U.S. Supreme Court is set to hear arguments Monday in two cases with major implications for social media platforms such as Google and Meta, and for the speech on the internet. The tech industry is challenging laws in Florida and Texas aimed at preventing companies from removing content or banning users from social media. A trade group is arguing the tech companies have a right to moderate what appears on their platforms without violating free speech protections under the First Amendment. The decision is expected by June. All right, so this is going to be a pretty interesting one because they are platforms that are owned and managed by particular companies. Does free speech take you towards like those platforms? Because it's like, do you have free speech at work where you can say whatever the hell you want to say, or does it have to be tempered? Because hey, you can say whatever you want to say, but there might be consequences for it as well. So that is something that we are going to have to see what happens. All right. Okay. Next up. Say goodbye to performance reviews. All right, so this is interesting. I saw this one last week and I was curious to hear more about it, right? So the annual performance review is on its way out, says the Wall Street Journal, taking its place constant, never-ending feedback. Supporters say a flexible feedback system is a more transparent and allows everyone to make real-time changes, leading to increased productivity. It also gives employees a chance to offer feedback to managers. Software startup Fountain, for example, has teams pass out sticky notes in the middle of meetings, assessing each other's helpfulness. All right, that's kind of weird. But anyways, artificial intelligence is being deployed in the form of chatbots to help coworkers rehearse difficult conversations. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people dread performance reviews, but I actually like performance reviews because it gives you a snapshot in time of how you're doing, what you need to improve on. I also like the constant, never-ending feedback as well. Like most people now are having one-on-ones with their managers to let them know, like it could be on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks, just to stay informed, up to date on what's going on. So do performance reviews going bye-bye? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. It depends on the company. But I actually like both. All right. So, all right, let's jump into our last article before we get to work. So, credit card debt struggles deepen. So, that's unfortunate. All right. Consumers who don't pay off their credit cards every month are feeling the pain as annual percentage rates on those cards soar to record highs, averaging 22.8%. Yes, I said 22.8%. The Federal Reserve's campaign to tame inflation is one reason for the rise, since credit card rates move in tandem with the prime rate. But credit card companies have also widened APR margins, the cushion between total APR and prime rate. It's made it harder for people to pay down balances, with nearly a quarter of debt-laden Americans reducing the amount they put towards repayment, per a New York Life survey. Americans' credit card debt rose to a record $1.13 trillion at the end of December, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, with an average credit card balance of $7,932.53. You see, they couldn't fit the 53 cents, but I threw in the 53 cents. All right. Okay, I'm joking. I am joking, right? But anyways, this is crazy. Like, they're crying. People are crying about student loan debt. Like, you need to cry about asking for credit card debt forgiveness, for crying out loud. And lastly, about 64% of people are changing their approach to managing their credit cards and debt, such as paying more than the minimum payment due. Duh. Like, anyways, whatever. Paying the minimum, it's just a losing effort, because you end up paying like 99% towards the interest and like 1% towards your actual balance, and it just continues to cycle over and over and over again. So it's just not good. Like when I get so mad at myself when I miss because I always pay the credit cards in full. But like sometimes I'll pay it like a day late, and I get so mad because I get charged that stupid late fee. And it's not good. And you get charged interest in that. So I'm about to stop using them altogether. But it is what it is. Anyways, let's get back to our full screen. I really wanted to see if they had the numbers in yet, but if not, we can always review that on Thursday. Let's see. Nope, no numbers in yet. So we shall look at those on Thursday. Why not? Right? Oh, there we go. There goes. It's like on some of them, like LinkedIn is so weird with its news, right? Let's look at the numbers real quick before we head out to our next segment, not head out for the day. All right. So real quick, the numbers to watch this week. Inflation and its implications for interest rates will take center stage this week when the Commerce Department releases the Federal Reserve's preferred price gauge for January. The personal consumption expenditure price index is likely to average an annual of 2.2% this year, according to a Bloomberg survey of economists. That would be lower than December's rate of 2.6 and close to the Fed's rate of 2%. The central bank has said it will pivot to cutting borrowing costs as long as consumer price growth appears to be firmly headed downward. Economists in the Bloomberg survey also forecast faster annualized growth this year of 2.1%, up from an estimated 1.5% last month, and a 40% chance of recession, the smallest proportion since mid-2022. Right? So upcoming releases this week. Tuesday, February 27th, the Census Bureau will release its monthly report on durable good orders, which measures manufacturing activity. The Conference Board will release its monthly consumer confidence survey, which measures how optimistic Americans are about the economy. I really don't care about optimism. I care about what is factual, the analytics. Wednesday, February 28th, the Bureau of Economic Analysis will release its first revision of the gross domestic product estimate for the fourth quarter. Thursday, the U.S. Department, there's a lot of numbers this week, right? The U.S. Department of Commerce will release January's personal consumption expenditure price index, the Fed's preferred inflation measure. The report measures changes in the price of goods and services, excluding the two most important parts, food and energy, as always. I think they should be included in there, but what do I know about economy? The U.S. Department of Labor will release its initial jobless claims for the previous week. The report, a proxy for layoffs, tracked the number of people filing for unemployment benefits. And of course, Friday, March 1st, the Institute of Supply Management will release its monthly Purchasing Managers Index, which tracks if the manufacturing sector is expanding. A non-manufacturing version lands the following week. And lastly, the University of Michigan will release its final reading of February's Consumer Sentiment Index, which measures how Americans feel about current and future economic conditions. Feelings, you know, you're just feelings, right? Anyways, that is it for our news for today. Let's jump into our coding portion. Let's get to work. Let me open up our Android Studio. Let's throw up another. It's 20 minutes on the clock, right? Why not 20 minutes on the clock? Let's go for it. All right. Android Studio is opening up. And if you have not done so yet, do me a favor. Go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Just going to drop in a little good morning to everyone message over here. All right. Let's see what we got going. So, all right, we have our Android Studio open. All right, so let's swoop over to the other screen. If you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live and drop new content like today at noon Eastern time. We are going to be talking about what's your purpose. All right, and don't forget we have our Q&A clips coming out at 3 p.m. Eastern time as well. All right, so let's get over to the screen over here. And before we do that, I have a new friend in the chat. Molly Moss says, good morning. Good morning to you as well. Shout out to you for being here. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Let me know how's it going with you. And I hope you have an amazing day and an amazing week as well, right? Hope to see you again. All right, so let's jump over. We are working on some Flutter development. We're writing our unit, or not unit, it's like they're kind of unit tests, right? But they are widget tests. That's what they call them in Flutter. Right. So, and if you think about it, it's kind of similar. Like the widget tests are kind of similar to the component test that we were looking at for React, or that we tried to look at for React when testing out the Netflix safe test. But it's neither here nor there, right? So let's get started. This field was validate activity cost state renders correctly. So we want this number to make sure that calculates correctly, right? So in this previous test, what we did over here, am I able to zoom in yet? Let's see. Saying reset font size. There we go. What I never, so it's control, shift, and dot. All right. There we go. I was trying to figure this out yesterday and I couldn't, so whatever. And I can make this a little bit bigger. I made it a little smaller yesterday because my good friend Sharon wanted to see the screen, to see like the little corner, but we don't have that little corner today. So let's go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. All right, cool. Okay. So let's go ahead and so I commented out some of this stuff because I we're gonna use it again, right? But so right now, validate the cost of activity input field is displaying correctly. So that is we were validating. Do I have that screenshot open? It's that field right here, right? But whatever. Now we're going to be focused on this part right here being rendered correctly, like being in the right format and stuff. So what we're gonna do, we are. I think this was done actually. Let's run this one real quick just to make sure. And I think we ran all of our tests on Friday as well, and we saw everything was still passing, so that's awesome. All right, cool. So that passes. So now we are in that field we just put in the the time, right? Like the amount of hours, and it accepts decimal points. It's a number data type for Dart. All right, so let's close this out. So now we are going to let's move this down a little bit. We're going to start writing it in here, right? So the first thing we're gonna do, await tester dot pump widget, and we're gonna say time cost calculator app semicolon, and we're going. So now we're actually going to use that input field total amount. I'm just gonna copy this right here. So now, because we're going to need to input we're going to need to input the total annual income amount, and we're also going to need the field for the time that you spent on the activity, right? So we have those two, and now let's put in a so now an integer, which is going to be the user income input, is going to be I like to change the numbers up all the time just so we can have we didn't use this number here, but let's go with 326,000 and $410 per year, right? Okay, and now we're gonna say the number and then the user total hours input equals, and we'll say you spent 10 point 10.25 hours on the event, right? So there goes our test data. We have the total of annual income. Let's go with, I like my variables to be very clear. So I might go back and update these anyways. But user total hours spent on activity input. Because like when I write it like this, look how much clearer it is to understand. I know exactly what this is, right? Total annual income field, total hours spent on activity, and here is a total user annual income. The input that I want to go in, or let's say value instead, because that's exactly it's more of a value than input. We're inputting this value into this field, right? So that's how I'm thinking about it right now. Inputting this value into this field. So, and that's one of the reasons I might externalize these, like move these variables up, so that we can easily change them across the whole project and have proper naming conventions. So maybe that's what we'll do next. Maybe on Wednesday we'll do some cleanup, some optimization, some refactoring, which is very very important. And we'll go from there, right? So now we got our variables, our data, our fields, right? And now we're gonna say so now the first thing we're gonna do, we're going to enter the text into, so we're saying we're going to enter it onto the input total annual income field. And the text that we're going to enter is user annual income value, and then we're going to convert that to a string. The reason that we have to convert that to a string is because the enter text field is expecting it to be a string. All right, so we have to convert that to a string. And the reason I don't do it here is because we might need that value for something else later. So setting it here as a string is not going to be the best thing for us to do. All right, so we have that. All right, so now we have this is going to so the calculation is going to be done. We have that. We have a test for that already. And and also what I'm going to start doing at the end of every show is we're going to run all of our tests, right? So whatever changes that we made, which we're not making any changes to break any like in the actual code right now, we're just testing what exists, but it's good practice to continuously run your tests whenever you make changes. So just in case something does break, you can just quickly do our control Z and get that back, right? Now, the next thing is up. We are going to do we're going to say now we have to await tester dot enter text, and we're saying now input total hours spent on an activity, and we're gonna say user total right. So and look how readable that is, right? It says let's do this real quick to string. All right, so look how readable this is, right? So we're saying as a tester, I want to enter the text on the input total annual income field of user annual income value, which is a string, right? And read it as a string. Same thing for here. As a tester, I want to enter the text of on the input total hours spent on activity field. I should put field over here. Right? And on that field, I want to enter the user total hours spent on activity value, right? And that is to be interpreted as a string. So there we go, right? Next up. So now I want to take the field of this is going to be the this is going to be the activity time cost calculation result equals time it's going to be input. Okay, so we're going to all right, so this is what we're going to have to do, right? We're going to have to set a so before we even do this part, right? We need to do here and we're say var activity time cost calculation result let's see that I'm not even sure what to call that, but let's call it element equals find dot by key, and then we're going to say constant key, and we'll call that cost of activity calculation. And I gotta find out what's the best practices for naming these keys. This would be an in here. All right. Now we have that. So if we were to go back down here, say wait, and we say so this is not a wait. So we're saying a variable for we are going to do so this is to get the calculation on all right, so we need to get this. Okay, so it's going to be similar to this. We might as well just evaluate it over here. All right, so what we're going to do then, we're going to move this down just a little bit. Because we put it up here, but technically we need it down here, to be honest. And we're going to say dot evaluate, and that is a, how do we do it up here? Evaluate dot single dot widget, and we're evaluating it as, so now let's go down here. So this block right here, this is a, similar to the other one, it's a rich text. How do we do this here? As rich text. Oops. And consistency makes key, right? Because like I haven't memorized these things yet, but being able to reference it and continuously typing it out over and over and over again is going to help it get instilled into your mind. So, and to me, like I always say, right, writing the test is like one of the most important things that you can do. So let's go ahead and let's run it because it's gonna fail because we haven't added this code yet, right? But I just want to see it fail. I like to see it fail before I actually get it to pass. And you can always like run it over and over and over again, like as you're writing out new code. Um, so you see, no element, right? It, like our calculations are working in the background, but there is no. We have to add the key, which you can get from up here or down here. Which when we refactor this, like, because we can also do like a page object model on this, where we can refactor this to put all of our keys together, and then just call them in here. So that's also a possibility as well. So we can do in here. We're gonna say key const key const key. All right. So now if you run it again, this should pass. It should pass now because we have a key for it, so it should be able to find it. Or not. Let's see. We might have to actually do a pump. So if we were to go over here, we do an wait tester dot pump. And let's run it again. Why is this failing? Let's see where it's failing at. Actually failing here. Cost of activity calculation. Evaluate single widget as rich text. Oh, wait, no. That should be right. Should be right here. Cost of activity. On the rich text, use single widget as rich text. Cost of activity calculation. The following error was thrown running a test. Bad state.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Let's see how we did it up here. Let's see here. This shouldn't be failing. Let's take a look at as we have it up here. Rich text key, constant key. Looks the same. Let's see. Var find key. Where is the plain text? Did we do a pump before that though? Yeah, we did. Await tester pump. Await tester pump. Should be good. Did this already, so get rid of that. It's getting a bad state down here, which is weird. Gotta wait tester pump. Key constant. Cost of activity. That should be fine. Why that's not passing? Weird. Let's see. Run. The following state error was thrown running a test. Bad state, no element. Find by key, constant, activity, cost, evaluate, single widget, single. Copy these two real quick just to get a comparison. Find by key, constant, evaluate. Yeah, that should work perfectly fine. Single widget as rich text. Anyways, we shall continue on with it. I don't know. I just don't understand why it's failing on this one. Do one more run. And if that doesn't do it, I mean, we're just running the same thing over, but doesn't make any sense. Mm. What that is. Not sure what we're doing here, but that doesn't look right. Let's go with pump and settle. I doubt that'll do anything different, but we shall see. Oh, that worked. So it might be a timing thing, but all right. So pump and settle did it. Probably needed to wait some additional time. Let me see if I go back to pump. I gotta figure out more what duration means. But for now, we shall leave it as pump and settle. And that works. So let's see if we can get one more step in there, right? So we want to do string activity time cost calculation result as string equals activity dot text to plain text. And then lastly, we're going to say expect and we always go with the actual value, which is going to be this to match this should be like this here. And we're going to go with $sign and run to get this number right here. All right, let's run this one and then we'll run everything and then we'll wrap it up for today. All right, that's the plan. There we go. We are winning as always, right? So if we were to change this right here to like 2 and we run that again, once that's when we're going to run everything. So you get a failure, right? So we got a failure. It expected 381 and 91 cents as actual, well, or what we expected was 382 because that's what we have defined in here. But the actual was 381, right? So we need to, so let's fix that. Just show that it works. And then we're going to run everything. And the only change we made to our actual code base was adding the key, right? Just added the key. Remember, we have to use pump and settle. So what I'm going to do up here, because we have this test actually written out now, we're going to get rid of this one on the previous test. Get rid of this one because we didn't need it. Get rid of this one because we didn't need it, cleaning up our test. And when we go to refactor these comments over here, we're going to write our function names and our variable names in a way that it incorporates what the comment is, so that we don't need to have these comments in the code. All right. Let's go. This one is done. And then once we also go back to refactor, we'll take out all of these to do comments as well. But for now, I'm just putting these check marks to know that they're actually done. We still have to do this over here. All right. So let's run everything and we'll go from there. All right. So last thing of the day, run all the tests. Run all the tests. Okay. Oh, we have one that failed over here. Oh, okay. This one is supposed to be failing actually because we still have to. So see, remember we have one that failed. We have this one is like we need to figure out. We need to add a error handling for if you add an exception. But cool. So expected, no problem, right? So there we go. Everything is passing, or everything is happening as expected. We still need to look into this one right here with the decimals, but that is not a major concern at the moment. All right. So let's go back to full screen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you found it very helpful and informative, and you enjoyed our news segment. I'm going to take off now. If you haven't done so already, do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time we go live. If you need one-on-one coaching, you can go over to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can get access to exclusive content as well as sign up for one-on-one coaching. And remember, we have our Candid Conversation premiering at noon Eastern time today, talking about what is your purpose. All right, helping you get some clarity around that. We're also going to be going live tomorrow for our Q&A, so just sharing all of that information. Once again, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful Monday and have a wonderful week. This is Tech Coach Ralph, and I am out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.